Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be basically pretty much eye based, and that is because we're going to be doing the soft glam that's going around. I just want to go ahead and do it because for the look that I love for soft glam, I can't do it the way that I've been seeing almost everyone else do it. I have to do it differently because of my hooded eyes, so this is specifically for y'all who have the hooded eyes, the flappy flap, the umbrella of the eye, if you will. It just covers your whole eye. And so this is for you. We just got to do it a little differently. So that's what this is about. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's just go ahead and get into it and talk about this process. Alrighty, let's get into it. Welcome back, guys. It's a good day here. It's a good day. All right, let's go. Let's get inside here. Okay, so the first product I'm using is the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I used to use this all the time. I haven't done this in so long, but since I'm using the palette I'm using today, I feel like I really need this. So, and it turns out that it actually did work well when I did my other eye, so I feel like this was the right choice for it. I'm going to blend this out with my sponge quickly. I'm gonna pull it out some because I do plan to pull the shadows out to the side. Okay, so the palette that we're going to be using today is the Kali Bible palette. Reason being is because when you look in this palette, you can see the shades of the color of the eye pretty much. And these are basically the shades I'll be using, along with like a dark brown shade that's in my Morphe 3502. But other than that, this is the main palette that we'll be using. So the first shade I'm going to go in with is the shade Bible right here. And I'm going to start by buffing that into my crease all over. And I'm going to put that on pretty heavily. Okay, so I have that buffed out pretty well, going straight out here. Y'all know I like my shadows to be straight out because of my eye shape and the way it goes. I like things just to be straight out here. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Bowie, and that's the shade in the corner. It does come up a little gray, so I'm very careful when I use this shade. It is quite the interesting shade, but what I do is put this right under and make sure this is marrying well with Bible, and I just use that for definition basically. So we're going to put that right under. And just to let y'all know, the way I'm putting these on, it is very important for hooded eyes that you put everything higher. It'll look crazy to you at first because you're putting, it does to me anyway, because you're putting shadows so high up to your brow. And most of the time that is very unflattering on hooded eyes. Like, you just never want to have shadow going all the way up to your brow. So that's why it's just really important. That's why I'm using these smaller brushes, and these are all from Morphe, like the Morphe 573, and then the other one in there that are basically intricate blending brushes that you can use, and they give you more control. I'm just taking everything right under, but it's just so important that you put things higher because of the hood, because later we're going to go in and create a new sort of crease here. So the higher, the more you will see. I'll say that. Not necessarily the better, because we do want to control where we're putting things so we don't look insane. So making sure still that these are, you know, blending well together. And I'm also going to take the brush previously, which had the shade Bible on it, and I'm going to go back in and reinforce that shade now. Okay, now I'm going to go into my well-loved 3502 palette, and I'm going to use the last row, and this is the third shade right here, and I'm going to be using that to put right in my flap. So you know the hooded eye has a flap. Mine is right here. You can see when I look all the way up, or my eye all the way up, it's the flap. I'm putting that shade right in the flap. Okay? Okay. Taking that right inside. I'm going to pat it in there and start buffing. I'm going to take this one out as well. But this is really important. It makes sure that it kind of creates a barrier in the flap area, so when you do look down, you don't see too much of your flap. And you'll also be cutting directly into this shade and covering it, but it just helps for me just to see things a little better. The blending together of all these shadows looks a little better when I put this shade here. All right, so now we're gonna go in and cut this old flappy crease. I'm taking the concealer that we used to prime our eye, and I'm going to take this brush, which is one of my favorite brushes. This is the M432, and it looks like this. Look at the beauty. Look at the beauty. And I'm going to take some of this concealer on this brush on both sides. And now I'm going to go in and cut the crease. So this isn't a cut crease tutorial or anything, but I will quickly run this by you so you know where your flap is. So what you want to do is just go above that. Another trick that you can, oh, this looks a mess. Another trick that you can use, if you put it on your eyelid and look all the way up, it'll show you where a good cut crease for you will be. That's basically how I used to do it, but for this one, I don't know why I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go in and see if I could just go ahead and create my own. You want to have a good amount of concealer on your brush. And what you want to do is make sure, get it as straight as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just get it as straight as you can and try to mimic the other side the best you can. Okay, now I'm going to go back into my 3502. I'm going to take the first shade in the palette, which is light and it is very matte. Slightly orange tint to it, and I'm going to use a little bit of a fluffy brush. It looks like this. I'm not really sure how to explain, but it's actually one of those really cheap brushes that comes on Amazon. It's good for this step in my opinion. And I'm going to pat the mess out of this concealer. It's almost like you're setting the concealer. And is this the shade I want it to be? No, but we're going to be going into more shades in just a bit. And I'm slightly going to just start buffing it out because this is a soft cut crease. This is not, you know what I'm saying, one of those slay me hard, you can cut someone with it type of creases. Okay, I'm gonna take that brush, wipe it into my little makeup rag here, and I'm gonna take the shade Bare, and I'm going to pat that on top of the shade we just put down, just so we lighten it up some, because we do not want it to be orange, actually. But Bare is much too light for someone of my skin tone anyway. So I'm just going to buff that over it, and it will keep it from being too bright because of the shade that is under. And for this one, I'm not gonna pat it because I don't necessarily want this to be too much of a staple on my lid. So I'm just going to buff it over. That's the reason for the buffing, in case you were wondering why we are buffing and swiping instead of patting. I'm gonna touch this up in just a second, but it is coming together slightly. I'm probably gonna take a little bit more of the orange shade later, but right now, I'm going to take my wing liner. Now, wing liner, I've seen some people with their soft glam looks, like they put a wing liner, and some people do not. I like it because I like it for my skin tone. I really would recommend it because it emphasizes the lighter shade on the lid when you have the contrast of the wing liner right on it. So I like that. So I opted for a wing liner. I'm gonna try to do this entire wing on camera. Prayers up, folks. Prayers up. And with my wing liners, like when you open your eyes and look straight, that line that comes from your hood, I try to have my wing liner actually go just under that. And that is because when you look straight on, you want to make sure that your wing liner is still seen and it doesn't get hidden or covered up by the flap. So I like to make sure the wing goes just under that, so whether my eyes are open or closed, you can still see the beauty of the wing. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know that time was put in. Okay, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I definitely can. I have a mistake here, and my mistake is this crease is higher than this one. So now what I'm going to do is start working Bowie, which is this shade here in the palette, and I'm going to blend that into this crease right at the top of it, and I'm going to lower it. Now I'm going to go back in with the brush I used to cut my crease, and I'm going to lightly make myself a little bit of a guide I'm gonna grab a little more concealer. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a guide here and try and match that up with the other side. I'm just recutting, rerouting the crease, and I'm gonna start buffing. And this might not be your mistake, but it surely is mine. So what I'm gonna do is make sure I'm looking good. You feel me? I'm gonna go ahead and put my mascara and lash on. I'm gonna do my base, same base from last video, so no need for that, and then I'll be right back. Y'all thought I was gonna leave y'all hanging like that. I was, but you know what? Let's go ahead and get it done. This is my Juvia's Place concealer mixed with my Beauty Bakery. It dawned on me when I said same base, it really is slightly different because the foundation I'm using is going to be my Juvia's Place foundation. Extremely full coverage. Different person, full coverage. I'll put this on and I'll be right back. All right, so now I'm gonna highlight with my usual, and this is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Sun Dipped Glow Kit. I'm gonna go in with the shade Bronzed first and highlight my cheeks. I realized that it's pretty much a soft eye look with a very bomb base. And I mean a base from the gods in heaven. Like, your base needs to be flawless. I'm gonna take a slight brown shade on my lower lash line. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the same one that was used in my crease and put it on my lower lash line. I actually went to a concert last night and I put this on my lower lash line. It looks so good. I haven't done it in a while. Last night was the first time in a while, but this is an eyeliner. 24-Hour Eye Definer by Ruby Kisses. And this is in the shade, I don't know if it has a name. All I gotta say is it's gold. That's what I know for sure. It's gold, so I'm gonna put that on my waterline. And I'm gonna reinforce my mascara. All right, let me go get the rest of my whatever done. And then I'll come back and we'll do the lips and then we'll be all good. Okay, for my lips, I just wanna take a beautiful nude gloss like I always love to do. Thank God for Soft Glam, you know. This is Freebird by Morphe, you guys should know. All right guys, this is the final look. At the end of the day, Soft Glam is basically, I feel, what everyone can do. It is something that everyone can do. The glam part of it is the base. I'm telling you, the base, that is honestly the main thing. You just want to make sure that it is flawless. When it comes to soft, I feel like any color can be used. It's just a softer version of those colors. Not necessarily these very opaque and strong and bold colors on the eyelids. No, it's very soft, very blended, very intricate, and it just gives you a nice enhancement of your eye. I think that's really what it is at the end of the day. It's just for this look specifically, I just realized that I have to do it differently because of my eye shape. So anyone in my boat, like I said earlier, this is for you. This is for us. We can do it too. Don't feel excluded. Make sure you're included. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. All right, that's all I have to say from here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thumbs up if you did. Share this video. Let the hooded girls know that we can still be up in here. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.